Hi guys. All right, today we're going to be talking about surface area. And when we're talking about surface area, we're talking about the outside area of a three-dimensional figure. So in this case, got a box of Annie's mac and cheese, delicious. And so when I say surface area, I'm talking about like what is the area of the entire outside surface of the box. Sorry, this is awkward because of the way my iPad is. I want to look over here, but the camera's over there. Try to ignore that. So a really helpful way to think about surface area is to think about it in terms of each rectangle that the box is made up of, right? And the way we do that oftentimes in math is we think of what's called a net. And let's talk about that for a moment. So if I've got my Annie's and I cut it open. Check it out. And I used a marker to really highlight the different areas. But we can now think about this box in terms of this rectangle and this rectangle and this one and this one and this one and this one, right? So when I measured this box or each rectangle, I found like all of the small parts, like this small edge is 1 1/4 inch. That would be the same for this part and this part. All of these medium lengths are 3 1/2 inches. And then all of these long lengths are 7 inches. So to find the surface area of this box, I could find, based on those measurements, I could find the area, do 7 times 1 1/4, find the area of this rectangle, find the area of this rectangle, 7 times 3 1/2, find the area of this one, this one, this one, this one, and then I would add them all up. And in this case, I'm literally working with a three-dimensional figure. Here it is, my delicious box of mac and cheese. A lot of times in math, you guys are going to be working with two-dimensional, well, they're going to be drawings of three-dimensional figures, right? But it's going to be flat, it's going to be on paper, it's not as hands-on. And so when you look at a drawing of a three-dimensional figure, a really helpful thing to do is to draw the image cut apart like this, and that's what we call a net. So let's make sure this works here. This little transition over to our notes. Perfect. Hopefully this is still recording. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So let's start with this very first box, right? It's got an 8 centimeter side, a 3 centimeter side, and a 4 centimeter side. And you guys got to think, even though it only has 3 labels, there are far more edges than that, right? Let me use a highlighter. If this is 8 centimeters, this is 8 centimeters, and this is 8 centimeters, and this is 8 centimeters, right? And if this is 3 centimeters, so is this, so is this, and so is this. And if this is 4 centimeters, so is that, and that, and that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with thinking about what does it look like to draw a net for a shape like that. And I went ahead and did the first one already, and then I'm going to do the second one kind of step by step. But so for this first one, a helpful thing to think about is pick one side to start on. Let's start with the bottom. Right here, this bottom side is 8 by 3 centimeters. So that's what I drew right here, 8 by 3 centimeters, right? Then I would move on to the next side. Sorry, I'm trying to think about how I could make this clear for you. Let's erase that. And let's think about this side now, this wall, which is 8 centimeters by 4 centimeters. So that's what we have right here, 8 by 4, right? 8 by 4. And then we would move on to the top. So the top is going to be this one right here, which is 8 by 3 centimeters. 8 by 3 is our next one here. The next one, and then the back side. Whoa, sorry guys. The back side, that back wall is 8 by 4, and that's what we have down here. So far we have each of the 4 walls of our box. But we've got these sides we've got to consider now. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got 3 by 4. So we've got that right here, 3 by 4. And if we've got one flap on one side to kind of come up, think about this as a box, we've got to have the flap on the other side as well, right? So here's our net. So now if I say, hey, what is the surface area of this rectangle? We've drawn our net. We can find the area of each section, right? So this top rectangle, right? We're going to do 8 times 3 because the area of a rectangle is length times width. 8 times 3 is 24. This next one is 8 times 4, which is 32. Then back to 8 times 3, 24. Back to 8 times 4 is 32. Then we can't forget our little sides here. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. So now we can add up each of these areas and that will give us our surface area. So we've got 32 plus 32 plus 24 plus 24 plus 12 plus 12, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 136. And it gives us our units, centimeters. So we'll say centimeters squared. 136 centimeters squared would be our surface area for that first box. So let's take a look at the next one, which I copied down here, and let's talk about how we make a net for this one, right, to find the surface area. First off, a box, a cube, it's going to have 6 sides. So you got to make sure that you've got all 6 on here. But this is a nice easy one because everyone has the same dimensions, 2 by 2. So every side on here is going to be 2 by 2. So let's go ahead and make that net. We've got a 2 by 2 box there. Ooh, I don't like how that looks. It's not going to be perfectly neat, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 sides. Think about like if you were to flip this up and fold it together, you now have essentially a square that you could look through, right? Now we've got to add the sides. I could add them anywhere I want. I just need to have one on each side. I could put one here and one here, or they could both go at the end, or I could switch it up and go there. And if anytime you're feeling really confused about it, I want you to really think about, could I cut this out and fold it together to make a box? And that's actually going to be one of your assignments this week to help you to understand as you're going through some of these practice problems. I'm also going to ask you to take a picture of yourself with a box that you have cut apart and found the surface area of. So you're going to make your own actual net. You're going to cut your box apart so you can find the surface area of it, and you'll show me that. I'll give you a little more direction about that later. So now let's actually find our surface area. I almost forgot that part. Every one of these is 2 by 2, right? So our area here is 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4, and that's 6 of them. So 6 times 4 is 24, and our unit here is yards. 24 square yards is our surface area.